Om Shanti, everybody. My name is Hiro Mehta, and I come to you live from North Carolina. Hope you all are doing well during these unforeseen times lately. Before I start, I would like to share some important keynotes. We would like to, if it's possible, we will mute all of you for now so that there's no disturbance or distractions throughout the program. If you have any questions, at any point, please feel free to type it in the chat or raise your hands, or you can wait until the end if you can. If you're in your car or somewhere else, please be mindful, please be careful and aware of your surroundings. Please try to stay until the end because the question and answer sessions will be very helpful and enjoyable. Questions are a great opportunity for you to understand and share. Blessings will be given at the end of the program, so please stay tuned. For those of you who are new, there is a link for Google form provided in the chat box that you can fill out with your contact information for future updates in the event and more information about Brahmakumaris if you feel comfortable. Rest assured that personal information will never be disclosed or misused in any form or any way. So let's, I wanted to start off first by saying Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Not only is today dedicated to all the dads, but did you know today is also celebrated the International Day of Yoga, which was first proposed by our India's current Prime Minister Narendra Modi. During this unforeseen crisis, we have to make an extra effort to exercise our minds. So let's take this opportunity today by stretching our minds, the muscles of our minds, the experience the pure nature of our true selves. Yoga binds together a person's mind, body, and soul. Person's body, brain, and soul. So yoga was emerged as the biggest unifying force in the world. It comes from a Sanskrit word, yuj, which means to unite or connect. The practice of Raj Yoga enables us to connect to ourselves as well as to our higher conscious. So let me begin by telling you a little experience. I would like to share briefly my experience with you. I was first introduced, believe it or not, I was first introduced to Brahmakumaris by my husband on YouTube. You know, as I used to listen to Brahmakumaris YouTube channels, like many, when life was down or just when I needed inspiration to move on. I talked to one of my family friends about how useful this was. And so he introduced me to Svetang Bhai. I first met Svetang brother and Kranista Didi when they had come to NC for North Carolina for a session. The sessions were so beautiful. It made me realize I wanted to get a deeper feeling of what Raj Yoga meditation was all about. Honestly, at first, I made many excuses. Just like, I had to take care of kids. It's on a Sunday, so I have chores to take care of, and the list goes on. I then remembered those beautiful sessions, and when they were thought, actually, I'm sorry. Let me step back a little. When they came, when I wanted to get a deeper understanding of the Raj Yoga meditation, at that point, fortunately, Svetang Bhai was starting the Raj Yoga meditation courses. And that's when I started and that's when they approached me about, would you like to start the meditation course? I said, sure, but like I said, I had so many excuses and I just like, oh, it's on a Sunday, my kids, who's going to take care of my kids? Who's going to do all these chores? And, it's a weekend, so that's what we have to do. So then I remembered the North Carolina sessions when they were here and how beautiful they were. They really touched me. So then thought to myself, you know what? It's a first course. Let me take it. If anything, I can tell them the truth if I'm not interested. What could it hurt, right? It's a meditation course. If anything, it can help you, right? So I went ahead. I took the course. I took the first course and I looked forward to the second. After the first course, I looked forward to the second course. Then the third course. And before I knew it, it became part of my daily routine on a weekend to start going to these courses. And the funny thing is, all those chores and those excuses that I was talking about, they were all getting done. My kids were being looked after. I was still living my life. So, I mean, everything was getting done. So then I just kept going. Like that was my Raj Yoga meditation was, I would say, was the beginning of my journey to yoga meditation. And, you know, let me tell you, from all this experience, there's a huge, one thing I learned is that there's a huge difference with living life, and living life that is connected to God. Now I want to log on. Now what I want to do is log on every day and meditate. And if I can't at times, I meditate by myself when I can. You know, it's like a daily routine for me. And now I don't just do it just to log on to YouTube channels when I'm sad or when I need a motivation to get through life. I do it. It's like become a daily routine for me to log on to the meditations in the morning, listen to Swetangpai and Kanisha Didi's daily teachings of Brahma Baba. So what I'm trying to say all in all is life goes on, but this is something that I've experienced from my experience. It is something that is necessary in life to go on with in life when you're connected to God. It truly, truly has helped me. I have no words how to explain it. Just you have to experience it yourself. So let me tell you a little bit about what Brahmakumaris is really about. It's a worldwide spiritual movement that is dedicated to personal transformation and a world renewal. It was founded in 1936, and Brahmakumaris organization has spread to over 110 countries on all continents and has had an extensive impact in many sectors as an international NGO. However, the real commitment is to helping individuals transform their perspective of the world from material to spiritual. Brahmakumari teaches us a form of meditation that focuses on identifying our souls, while applying this meditation towards our day-to-day lives, activities of teaching us to believe that all souls are intrinsically good and that God is the source of all goodness. The founder of Brahmakumaris is Prajapita Brahma Baba, who chose to put women in front of every beginnings, and which he has set Brahmakumaris apart on the stage of world's religious and spiritual organizations. Brahmakumari is the largest spiritual organization in the world led by women. So today on this International Day of Yoga, we are truly blessed to be in the presence of these two beautiful souls, Swetang brother, who is a cardiac anesthesiologist in Augusta University in Augusta, Georgia. And Ganesa's sister is a pediatrician with a special interest in research in the field of body, mind, and medicine. Both have been practicing Raj Yoga for meditation with Brahmakumaris for the past 20 years, which is really wonderful. So let's sit back and enjoy this wonderful sessions planned by both. Thank you all. I hope you have a great session.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Thank you, Sister Hiral, for the introduction, and we're glad that you have learned so much and you are continuing to take a lot of benefit from these sessions. So keep up the good work. We look forward to having another wonderful session today. We would like to thank all of you for joining. Brother Girish, if that's possible, you can change to the spotlight. Yeah, all right. Okay. To both, I don't know if you can do to both. But all right. So just want to make sure. Yeah, I see quite a few familiar faces. And so a very warm welcome to the familiar faces. And I do see some new faces too. And so a warm welcome to you as well. And this session is being broadcasted on Facebook Live. So I'm sure a lot more people will be watching or listening to this session. And as mentioned earlier, you're welcome to interrupt and ask questions or comment whenever you want throughout the session. We like interaction, we like questions. It kind of feels more as if, because we are not physically in front of each other, so it at least feels as if we are talking to a live audience. So, always a good feeling. So, anyways, today is the International Day of Yoga, as many of you know, and as Sister Hiral was mentioning earlier, this all started a few years back to celebrate this day as for or dedicate this day, and some places even this month for practices of yoga. But yoga is not new. As you all know, yoga is a pretty old practice. However, many of us don't know what are the origins of yoga and what do we even mean by the word yoga, right? When the word yoga comes to your mind, I'm sure for most people, it kind of uh, gives you the sense of all those different positions and different, um, what you call those yoga postures, yeah, which really is termed as hatha yoga. That is only a form of yoga, a very small form of yoga. Actually, I myself came to know not too long back how this hatha yoga actually originated. So it's interesting, and let me share it with all of you. So, thousands of years back, when some of these mystics, these ascetics who would sit for hours and hours together to meditate inside caves or high up on the mountains or in the forest, as they would sit, they would find that their bodies would get stiff, and the backs would get stiff, and the joints would not move too well, and so they needed something to make themselves more flexible and to be able to keep their body fit enough so that when they sit in meditation for those many hours, they are able to do so. So that's how hatha yoga originated, and they came up with these different postures and all that. If you think of it now, we are realizing after countless research projects that have happened on yoga across the world, how these postures help with the blood flow and really the functioning of the body. But if you realize that hatha yoga is therefore a very small part of the big spectrum of yoga. The true yoga actually comes from the word connection, yuj, that's the Sanskrit word, and it is very similar to the English word yoke, which means connection. So it is a way to connect. And what do we need to connect to is what we will talk about today. But first, let me take you through a little bit of an exercise so that at least we can connect our self with the body. Yeah. You see, sometimes you could be sitting somewhere, standing somewhere, but really speaking, in fact, the body is there, but you are elsewhere. Does that happen? Is it frequent, or is it not as frequent now? Or was it more frequent earlier and less frequent now? Uh, but it happens for all of us. You could be in the bathroom taking a shower, that the body is there, but the mind could be elsewhere. You could be lying on the bed trying to go to sleep. The body is again on the bed, but you could be elsewhere. I'm sure you have seen that countless number of times. So let's for a little bit bring ourselves to here, to our bodies. In a way, yoga takes us to an outer body experience, which we will try to make that happen for you today if you are interested. Yeah, outer body experience is something which people in the world yearn for, which the ancient yogis and mystics could do it very easily. But for having an outer body experience, first it's important to have inside the body experience, in the body experience. So let's bring ourselves to in our bodies. Yeah. For a little bit, just retract yourself from all those things that you have been thinking about, or all those places you are at right now in your mind. Maybe at your friend's place, maybe at your relative's place, maybe at work, because tomorrow you have to get back to work. Maybe at a grocery store because you have thoughts that you have to buy groceries for the rest of the week. Maybe in the kitchen, the thought is that you need to cook food for the family. Or maybe in your laundry room, oh, I have to do laundry for the family. But right now, you're sitting in front of the computer. So bring yourself to your body, which is sitting in front of the computer, or your cell phone, or your iPad. And by the way, I do inspire all of you to sit down, at least for a little bit. See the breath that you're taking in feels so meaningful now. Feels so energizing, so rejuvenating. Now that you're back into your body. In a way, you can even see this as potatoes that have gotten scattered from the sack that was holding the potatoes together. This body, this mortal coil, is the sack, and you are the potatoes. And see how it feels to get back into the sack. The more you're here and there, the more your energy gets scattered. The more you're inside the sack of your body, the more you can gather your energy. And more you can feel rejuvenated and re energized. It's a simple equation. More energy dissipated is more energy wasted. So less energy conserved. So less energy available to serve you, to heal you. I'm sure the goal for you is to heal yourself. So here and now. You can experience all the healing you want. As every moment that passes with you inside your body, with your body, and the energy that you're conserving simply because of that. Om Shanti. You all had a good experience. Did you immediately feel a little bit, at least, conservation of energy? Did you feel this energy getting accumulated somewhere inside you? Yeah. See, when you go grocery shopping and you don't get a good deal, you feel your money getting wasted. It doesn't give a good feeling, right? When your energy gets lost, that doesn't give a good feeling either. When you're able to conserve your energy, when your pot of energy is full, doesn't that give a good feeling? And how much did you have to do? What did you really have to do? Was it too difficult? Yeah, it wasn't, right? It was very simple. Just bringing yourself to here and now, to your body. So, the first thing about yoga is connection with your body. Yeah, and we'll take you from here. But first, I would like to invite Kanishta. Kanishta, would you like to say something at this moment as we move forward? And by the way, I don't see many of you. We would love to see all of you, actually. Your lovely faces, uh, your beautiful smiles. Yeah. I inspire all of you to switch on your cameras, sit properly, so that we all have a great experience together.
Om Shanti. Good evening, everyone. So Shwetank had already explained the meaning of yoga so beautifully. Now we all know what is yoga all about. It's about making a connection. And that connection starts from this awareness, how this body is moving. Who is the one who is moving this body? That comes next. But first is that this is the body that I have, that I'm using to breathe. This is the body that I have, that I use to perform actions. So, awareness of my body. Second comes the awareness of, like I said, who is the one who is moving the body. So, we will talk about that, but even before we go into that, I would like to tell you what is Raja Yoga. This is Raja Yoga meditation that we learn in Brahmakumaris. So there are two words here, Raja and Yoga. Raja, as you all know, means king, and Yoga means connection. So in this meditation, our aim is to connect to ourselves in such a way that we can become king of our own mind. In fact, we become king of our own lives. Because once we we are able to rule over our minds, it's easy for us to rule our lives, right? So,
There's a famous saying in Hindi, "Man jeete to jagat jeete."
yeah,
So when you are able to conquer your mind, you're able to conquer the world. Yeah. So when we do physical yoga or hatha yoga, which is one component of yoga, then the body becomes healthy. We all want a healthy body. However, physical health um, is is a small component of a total health, right? Even from WHO definition point of view, there is physical health, but there is mental health, there's social health, there's spiritual health. When you want to look at it from the point of view of which they call as physical quotient, if you will. So physical quotient is the ability to perform, say physically, yeah. Mental quotient would be to be able to perform mentally. Social quotient would be able to connect with people at a social level, and then spiritual quotient is to be able to see the wisdom of life, the truth of life, and to be able to experience that and be able to express from that state of being. So you see in today's world, when people are doing all the different types of exercises just to keep themselves healthy, and they would go into these asanas. While it's interesting that yoga has become more and more popular, right? And so a lot more people are doing these yoga asanas, or even if they don't do that, they many of them are doing the breathing exercises, the pranayam, and or even going out for walks and jogs and things like that, which are all great things. However, if you think that if the body is healthy, but the rest of you is not healthy, would that work? Uh, really, would that work? I have seen personally in my life people who are super strong physically, they are super resilient, and they can handle a lot of weight being pushed on them, and they can carry a lot of weight as well. However, when suddenly a small situation comes their way, they get upset. Think of it for a moment, somebody who's super strong, real strong, who has all the say he's also a master of martial arts, for example. The example that comes in my mind is Bruce Lee, yeah, considered one of the fittest, the smartest, physically smartest, the most one of the strongest people around, right? And yet they say that his anger was so tremendous. I hope I'm not saying something wrong, but that's what I've heard about him, is that his anger was intense, and he ended up with a lot of high blood pressure. And eventually they say that his blood pressure, because of his anger, it led to rupture of artery in the brain. So he eventually died at a very early age. So, despite how much ever strength you may create in your body, if there is not enough stability inside, then it won't help. Or if you think somebody is extremely strong again, has all these skills to fight, but at a drop of a needle, uh, or something very simple, something very silly, gets very upset, gets into a fight with someone, the other person brings a gun and shoots the person, the first person who's the strong one. How will that help? Yes, the stability is an important component for us to lead our lives more meaningfully, which doesn't come merely by making the body strong and healthy. Now, let's look at intelligence quotient for a moment, or the mental quotient. Somebody may be super intelligent, maybe a Nobel laureate, maybe a scientist, maybe one of the smartest people around, technologically, intellectually. But again, if there is no stability, How will that help? I have seen so many people, even at work, who are very intelligent, get into fights with others because of their egos. They don't have the ability to work together on different projects at different levels, and end up being sidelined, and they find themselves nowhere. So did that help? No. If you look at social quotient, for example, the people, there are, I know of people who are able to make a lot of friends, a lot of connections, and their Facebook friend list goes into thousands. Yeah. And they are constantly going to parties, they're constantly connected to people through various means, and yet they are unhappy. So think of it, on one hand, you have so many friends, yet there is no inner stability, no inner strength. So, what Raj Yoga does is go beyond just these physical asanas and the other things that people in the world think about, and takes you to the ancient form of living, the original lifestyle of the ascetics and the ancient mystics, where they were truly connected to the core of their beings. Mm. And so now I guess we can go into what is the core of the being. Who is that core? Who are we? I'm sure this question comes in the minds of all of you. I know every time we do this, it's always refreshing to remind ourselves, who are we? And then this question probably comes in your minds too. Who is that real self? Who do we think we are? Yeah. So Kanishta, shall we take this forward into who we really are, connecting to the core of our being, to the self?
Yeah, sure. So, like I said, Raj Yoga, in Raj Yoga meditation, we learn how to connect with our true self. But before connecting to the true self, it's important to understand who that true self is. So, what we see with our physical eyes is not who we are. We say that we are human beings, but really speaking, do we connect to both the components? Mostly we are connected to the human part of our existence, that is the physical body, because it is visible. We can see with our eyes. It is tangible. We can touch it. We can see it, right? On the other hand, the being cannot be seen, but being can be felt. And this is who we are. I am the being. I am not this physical body, but I am that life energy, that life force, that consciousness that's not visible, but it is very, very powerful. That energy is the driving force for the body. We often give the example of car and driver. This body is like a car, and I, the soul, am the being who is the driver. I am the driver who is driving this physical body, the physical vehicle. So in meditation, what we do, we connect to this being, to the driver, and we feed the driver. Think about it. Even if you have a car, but if the driver is hungry, will the driver be able to concentrate on driving? Maybe he'll end up in accident because he's not well fed, right? So similarly, in meditation, we connect to that being, and we really work towards feeding that driver inside. And how do we feed the driver? By becoming aware that I am a being of peace. Again and again, reminding the self. So yoga is about awareness. Yoga is not about just connection, but also about the awareness. Because before you connect, you have to be aware of who you are. Without awareness, without knowledge, without understanding, you cannot connect. Right? So Raj Yoga meditation gives us this understanding that I am not this body, but I am the being. So we say that Raj Yoga is an amalgamation of many different types of yoga. There are elements of different forms, like Hatha Yoga, for example, Hatha Yoga. So we sit straight, we sit properly so that we are well aligned. The neck, the back is well aligned. So it's not about forcing ourselves to sit in a particular posture, but some degree of discipline is needed so that that energy, the being that we are talking about, when once we connect to that being, the energy flows from our head to the entire body. So there is component of Hatha Yoga, and then there is also component of Jnana Yoga. Gyan means the knowledge. So this is knowledge-based yoga. Whatever we do in meditation, first we get the understanding of it. And once we understand, then only we can experience. It's like going into a lab. Before you go into a lab, you first need to know what you're going to do, what kind of research you're going to do in that lab, right? You cannot just enter the lab without knowing anything. So understanding who we are, that body of knowledge is important. So that is Jnana Yoga. And then there is also element of Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti means devotion. On the path of devotion, what people experience, what people try to experience is the connection with the divine and the experience of love. So in Raj Yoga meditation also we connect to that part of the being that is very loving. And also we connect to the divine energy whom we consider as the ocean. And we will talk about that later on, ocean of love. Then we also say that Raj Yoga meditation is also talks about Karma Yoga. There is element of Karma Yoga. Karma means action. So when we are talking about the connection with the being, it's not that only when we are meditating, we are sitting and meditating, only at that moment we remember who we are. It's not like that. But we have to maintain this awareness throughout the day. Whatever actions we do, we have to be aware that we have to keep asking ourselves, who is the one who is performing this particular action? Because if you are aware that you are a peaceful being, the quality of your actions will change. You will be able to bring lightness into your actions. And this is the reason Karma Yoga is important. That's why we say that it's 24-hour yoga. It's not only just you were sitting for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you meditate and it's over. No, it's your lifestyle. It's your way of living.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's very good. And before you go further, I was thinking that we can elaborate a little bit on this because, in any case, when we are doing any action, say we are driving a car, we're cooking our food, we are mm, vacuuming our carpet, or doing whatever action, taking a shower, we are in the awareness of something. Yeah. Many times, actually, we are not really aware of much, which is a very common state of affairs in today's world. We live in what we call as a zombie world. Yeah. Does everybody understand what's a zombie? Is there anyone here who doesn't understand what's a zombie? Yeah. You've heard of zombie apocalypse? And people in the West preparing for the zombie apocalypse. It's a joke in itself. Huh? There were movies on this. I guess I can't remember the name of the movies, but there were movies. If somebody remembers those, I think Living Dead or Dead Living or something. I can't remember. Yeah, those kind of movies were created, and there was a huge amount of scare in the world about zombies. And I know there are a lot of people who, in the West, especially in the US, I was listening to someone, and somebody was at work was saying that I have quite a few guns, and I said, "Why do you need so many guns?" He said, "I'm preparing for a zombie apocalypse." I said, "Wonderful." Yeah, but is there anybody here who doesn't understand what's a zombie? Yeah, raise your hands if you don't. Yeah, and that's how we live our lives, like zombies, totally unaware. We are walking, doing everything, but we are not in the awareness of what we're doing, why we're doing, who is doing, and so on and so forth. Yeah, that kind of absent-mindedness of an extreme order is happening for all of us, and that's why we never enjoy anything we do. Do you remember the last time you enjoyed your meal? Last time you enjoyed sitting with your kids and teaching them? Last time you enjoyed a conversation with your family? Yeah, no, right? Because during meals, most houses have television going on, and you're watching that, or for watching things on your cell phones. Each one is on their cell phone as they sit at the dining table. So see, what's happening is why we do that. Because there is this wrong programming of the mind towards who we are. And so think of it, if you think, like if I, for example, think that I have to, I'm a doctor and I have to get things taken care of, or I'm the boss, I am the chief of so and so group, or whatever, that kind of role, that kind of title, if that is constantly in my awareness, then it will pull me towards more things of work, or I have to send this email, or I have to check this voicemail, I have to check this message, I have to make sure that I know more, and so on and so forth, which is not wrong. But what it does, it totally captures us in a way that we become victims, or we become, in a way, captives, become prisoners of our own consciousness. So, by understanding who we truly are, it's a very liberating experience. Think of people when they are inside the prison, and it's suffocating. It's not a very pleasant experience, and they say prisoners end up losing quite a bit of their lives. Yeah, the lifespan decreases because of the of course, food may not be as good as they may get outside, but just the experience of being prisoners is not a pleasant one. Similarly, if think of it right now, I'm a prison of my own mind. I'm in the prison of my own mind. I'm a prisoner of my own mind. Then can I live a pleasant experience? Yeah, no. And if the experience is not pleasant, then how can I live a healthy life? Because there is a connection between a healthy mind and the healthy body. Nothing works as like magic. We know it now scientifically. If this area of your self is not happy, then your body cannot be happy either. Mm. So simply that awareness of who you are truly, uh, uh, that also, like Kanishta was saying, comes from the understanding of who you are. And this understanding is not a narcissistic type of understanding. And the self is not the ego self, but the true self. The self also, there are different types of self. One is the self that others see you as. The other is a self that you want to project yourself as. Yeah. And then there is a self that is the true self. Yeah, right?
And
You agree?
the three letters of this word Raj, Raja, the first three letters, Raj means secret, Raz. So in Raj Yoga meditation, this is the secret that we come to know who we are. This Raz, this secret. And once you know this secret, this is like a secret formula for a happy, healthy, prosperous life. Once you understand and once you start putting this formula into practice, into your day-to-day life, you will come to know the benefits of it. So the secret formula you're coming to know today, who you are.
Yeah, yeah. So you think of it going back, thank you. Yeah, the secret formula is the truth. That's so beautifully said. But think of it now going back to this understanding of what others see you as. Yeah. You see, everybody around you sees you as a different person. They have their own concept about you. Yeah. Each one perceives you in a different way. Somebody may see you as intelligent, the other person may see you as dumb. The third person may see you as a kind person, the fourth may see you as an unkind person. The fifth one would see you as sensitive, the sixth may see you as indifferent. So, who are you? Are you kind, or unkind, selfish, or indifferent, or sensitive person, or smart person, or dumb person? Who are you? See, what happens normally is that, it is said that if there is a ship or a boat that doesn't have oars and doesn't have a sail, it is at the mercy of all the elements of nature, the winds that blow over the oceans, and also the flow of the waves. Uh, it will have no control over anything. The boat will not have any control over itself. It will be under the mercy, or under the control of the forces around it. Similarly, if we are not connected to the core of our being, to the truth of who we are, then we are at the mercy of what everyone else thinks about us. Yeah. So it is possible that during the day, you may meet all these six people at different times. So you would go from feeling very happy to very unhappy, and again happy, again unhappy, yeah, up and down and up and down. This actually is very dangerous. This has been found. Uh, even in medicine, when say somebody's blood pressure is high, and it is constantly high, still it is considered okay. But if it goes up and then up and down too much, that's considered dangerous. It actually kills the person much quicker. Yeah, you can end up with heart attacks and strokes when it goes up and down too much. And that's what happens to all of us, doesn't it? Our energy goes up, then comes down, then goes up, then comes down. Because one person said something good to us, other person says something negative to us. Yeah, because we are totally at mercy uh, of everything around us, everyone around us. And then there is the second self of how we would like to project ourselves as, which is many times very different from who we are. On one hand, there is strength, but we show ourselves as weak. On the other hand, there are times when we truly are strong. We know that we are strong, yeah, and still we are not able to express that. Sometimes the understanding that there is vulnerability deep inside, and yet we create false walls to protect that vulnerability. So now it's important for us to go beyond or away from the self that others perceive us as, and from the self that we project ourselves as, but rather be the true self of who we really are. not someone's husband, not someone's wife, not someone's child, not someone's parent, not someone's boss, not someone's subordinate, not someone's co-worker, not just a member of the society, but the self, the true self. And in that awareness, if we do our actions, I am a soul, a pure, perfect, whole self.
And we
So,
can look at that soul today as Raja, and we can focus on the qualities of Raja today. And I was thinking about it, the one of the things about Raja is that Raja always takes care of the subjects. And one interesting thing I came to know that, where the palace is usually built, the palace of a king is usually built at the center of the town or the city. And what we can learn from this, that Raja is positioned in such a place from where he can serve everyone. He's centered. First of all, he's centered. That means he's calm, he's composed, he's centered to that place. And from that place, he can serve so many. Anybody can have access to his kingdom because the palace is located at the center of the city. People don't have to travel long distances to get what they are looking for, but they can reach out to the king very easily. So if I'm able to center myself in this calm, composed state, then I will be able to serve not only myself, but I can serve so many. So that kind of Raja I become once I start connecting to that true self. So one of the qualities of the king is he's a great server. Another is that he is also a bestower. He's not a beggar, like Shittak was talking about, living at the mercy of others, what others are thinking. But king has everything. He's so generous, and that's why he's so generous, because he's full. Only when you are full, you are in that position to give to everyone. If you yourself are lacking, then you won't be able to help anyone else. So Raj Yoga meditation practice, when you do it on a regular basis, you will be able to really fill yourself with so much of positivity, positive energy, that you are so full that you begin to overflow. You don't even have to think that I have to give peace to this person, love to this person. But wherever you go, your presence will help people experience that peace, that love, that happiness that they're looking for. So when you live like a Raja, like a king, you are a bestower. You are a bestower, and you are giving blessing to everyone. And another important quality of a king is that king is a protector. He takes good care of the subjects. So similarly, I, the king of this physical body, the king of my mind, I have to make sure that I protect my subjects. And what are my subjects? Spiritually, if we think about it, we can use this analogy that I, the soul, am a king, and my subjects are my sense organs. So my sense organs, I need to protect myself from the information that these sense organs are taking from the outside world. Because how we create thought in our minds? Whatever information the sense organs, they give to the mind, that is what the mind thinks on the basis of that, right? So I have to make sure that my senses are carrying the right kind of information. So that kind of protection, I need to protect my senses from taking unnecessary negative energy, negative information from the outside world. So if I am seated in this position that I'm a king of my own mind, I'm king of my own senses, then I'm able to protect. I feel protected. And if I am protected, then I can serve, right? Another quality of a king is that he is very courageous. No matter what the situation is, king is always ready to face any challenges. So with the practice of Raj Yoga meditation, you will feel that your energy, your positive energy grows little by little every day, to that extent that when situation comes to you, it will not shake you, it will not harm you. Okay, so all these qualities we get connected in Raj Yoga meditation, and we aim to become a king of our own self.
Yeah, so understanding who you are again, the true self, the soul. And in that awareness, when we are doing our actions, understanding that the soul is eternal, soul can never die, soul is immortal. That's who you are. You can never die. You can never be cut. You can never be burnt away. You can never be dried away. You can never wither away. You can. There's just pretty much nothing that can destroy the soul. And in that awareness, you do your actions, and also the understanding that the soul is pure, is perfect, is wise, is healthy, is knowledgeable, is kind, is compassionate. These are the intrinsic qualities of the soul. So if I do all my actions in that awareness, then think of it how these actions will turn out. You see somebody who is a bodybuilder who's very strong, and he is in that awareness, then every action that he does, he shows his strength in that. Don't you think that? Right now, also say, for example, if you are in the awareness that you are a male or a female, all your actions are on the basis of that, right? Or say if you think yourself as the mother of the house or as the father of the house, yeah, your roles change, right? As soon as you come into the house, say, or everybody goes out to the market, or wherever, shopping, or some other place for a vacation. When everybody comes back home, yeah, the whole family enters the home, the mother of the house will want to go to the kitchen to make sure that the food is taken care of, and so on and so forth, because the role is very prominent in the person's mind. I am the mother of the house, and so I have to prepare food for the rest. The husband of the house or the father of the house will think about going to work the next day, so will go to his computer to make sure that there are no new emails, and try to prepare whatever needs to be done for the next day at work, right? Yes, to see how our actions get modified, get changed based on the consciousness or our awareness. Yeah, you agree? Everybody agrees to that? Constantly that happens. Whatever my awareness is, my actions follow the awareness. If somebody is a doctor, then he will see a lot of things, hmm, a lot of different things based on medicine. And so, like for example, I have seen this for myself, that since I have that medicine background in my mind so strong, so prominent, if I see somebody walking in a certain way, immediately I try to create a diagnosis that maybe that person has a bad knee or a bad hip, or something like that. If I see somebody's hand a little bit crooked, then I'll, oh, maybe this person has rheumatoid arthritis. Yeah, it happens, because we kind of identify ourselves with a certain way of living a life, and that's why our actions follow through. Similarly, if you think of now changing, if you shift your consciousness, if you shift your awareness from these different identities that we have created so far, and all of these, by the way, are very limited identities, and these don't take us too far, because this is an ever-changing world that we are living in, and all these identities therefore also change all the time. But there is one identity that is never changing, can never change, will always be there, it will be constant, and that is I, the soul. And now, from this consciousness, I, the soul, that is eternal, that's immortal, that's indestructible, and that is peace, that is love, that's kindness, that's compassion. Now you think of it, how your actions will be. And if your actions hmm, are filled with love and compassion and wisdom and kindness and all these beautiful qualities, all the positivities that you can think of, see how beautiful your life will become. How happy you will become. All your connections, all your relationships with the others will change so quickly. You will have a much more beautiful experience in living your life. And that's exactly what Raj Yoga aims at. Fixing you from the core. You see, when we do Hatha Yoga, it actually just fixes the body. But Raj Yoga fixes you from the core. If your mind is happy 24/7, think of it. How it is going to do change uh, your life. The happiness that you have created now, right now, while you're listening and while you are sitting in the awareness of you as a soul, the master, the king, the ruler of your five senses, of your mind, of your body. Uh, so that think of it, I cannot see anything that I don't want to see. I cannot hear what I don't want to hear. In other words, I tell my ears, you are my subject, I am your king. I don't want you to listen to anything negative. And the ears dare not disobey me because I am the king. I have realigned myself to my sovereignty. I've reaffirmed my sovereignty, uh, being the king. I have made sure that all my subjects don't do anything that I don't want them to do. Now, eyes, you tell your eyes right now, for example, eyes, I don't want you to see anything negative. What happens when you see negative? What happens? Or when you listen to anything negative, what happens? Or when you say something negative, or when you do something negative, doesn't that affect your consciousness? Doesn't that affect your peace of mind? You keep thinking about it later, don't you? Somewhere it contaminates your consciousness. For sure, it does it for everyone. So if you remind yourself throughout the day, I, the soul, am the king, which Kanishta was talking about, the ruler. Eyes, you cannot see anything that I don't want you to see. Ears, you cannot listen to anything negative. Mouth, you cannot speak anything negative. Hands, you cannot do anything negative. Mind, you cannot think anything negative.
Can we
I
take a
want
different meditation experience now, maybe a little bit? Yes.
You want to take us into that?
Yes, because we're talking about it, so maybe this is a good time for everyone to get the experience of it, how it feels like to be a king, king of your own mind, king of your own senses. So take this moment to visualize yourself as a king sitting on a throne. The seat of the soul is the center of the forehead. So maybe you can visualize yourself sitting on the throne at the center of your forehead as a king. A ruler, a master, having full control over all your senses, including your mind. Whatever orders you are giving to your eyes, your ears, your nose, your mouth, your hands, these are your subjects. They are following your orders. They are listening to you. And you are able to experience peace in your life, because your life is now in order, because your senses are now in order. Om Shanti.
Yeah. Thank you for doing meditation.
So
We
you can do the simple exercise maybe every morning before you start your day.
and multiple times during the day. Yeah, as well. See, what has happened is we have gotten so programmed to think negative, to see negative. Mm, All our senses go very quickly towards negative. One time you hear of an accident, your mind keeps going to that. There may be a million cars driving on the road at this time, and 0.001% accident somewhere, and then our mind keeps going to that accident. One time you hear of a burglary, a robbery, and something not right happening between different races or different communities, and then our mind goes there. Mhm. And that negativity, what does it do? It breeds more negativity. Yeah, dirt breeds more dirt, right? Like back in India, if somebody is throwing trash at a certain place, then what will happen? The second person sees, oh, there's trash here. I can throw more trash, right? Doesn't it happen for people who have come from India? I don't know whether it happens in the West that much, but yeah, if one person, two people start throwing trash somewhere, then other people feel, oh, it's okay to throw trash there, and more people start throwing that. So, in other words, negativity attracts negativity. It's almost like a slippery slope. We keep sliding down that. And soon we find ourselves totally soaked in negativity. what will happen to my health, what will happen to this body, what will happen to my relatives, what will happen to my friends, what will happen to my job, what will happen to my business, what will happen to my savings, to my retirement, for my insurance, my this, my that. The constant fear that we live in is negativity. That negativity does not allow us to experience the fullness that life has to offer. And that's why we end up with sickness and illnesses of all sorts. Yeah. So, karma yoga, every action we perform, let's try to do so from now onwards in the awareness of who we really are. The soul that is the king, the emperor of my own world. Yeah. And then also want to talk about the the bhakti yoga part, love. It's important for us to fall in love with ourselves. Again, not in a narcissistic way, uh, but truly understand what lovely human being, what lovely energy we are. And holding that thought, yeah, when we see ourselves as that lovely being, we also begin to understand that everyone around us is also a lovely being. So then we begin to fall in love with the entire human race. And not just human race, the entire uh, life in general. Fall in love with life. Think of it. We begin to respect every life, whether it's human, whether it's animal, whether it's plant. And then what happens? Everybody knows the golden rule. Yeah, and when we give love to others, then what happens? When we give respect to others, what happens? We get respect and love back from them. Yeah. This is how we become enlightened beings. There is another component of Raj Yoga called as Buddhi Yoga. Buddha, that word, what does that mean? Buddha doesn't mean that actual human being. That was Gautam Buddha, Siddhartha. A Buddha is the enlightened being. So just by staying in the awareness of who we really are, we become enlightened beings. We become Buddhas. Our intellect becomes refined. Our intellect develops the ability to connect to the highest consciousness, to God, who is the source of all positivity that you can think of. Yeah. And so now we have a small video to show all of you. I'm going to share that screen. You're going to enjoy it. It's from The Lion King that talks about who you really are. And then...
Because lion is considered to be the king of the jungle. And we're talking about king.
Yes.
That's why we put this idea for all of them.
Yeah, and then we will talk a little bit more on the connection with the higher consciousness. Just 1 second. I got it here.
Sure do. You Mufasa's boy. Bye.
Hey, wait! You knew my father?
Correction. I know your father.
I hate to tell you this, but he died a long time ago.
Nope. Wrong again. He's alive. And I'll show him to you. You follow old Rafiki. He knows the way. Come on.
That's not my father. It's just my reflection.
No. Look hard. You see, he lives in you.
Father?
Simba, you have forgotten me.
No. How could I?
You have forgotten who you are, and so forgotten me. Look inside yourself, Simba. You are more than what you have become. You must take your place in the circle of life.
How can I go back? I'm not who I used to be.
Remember who you are. You are my son, and the one true king. Remember who you are.
No! Please! Don't leave me! Father! Don't leave me.
Yes. You remember who you are. When you remember who you are, then you can remember God. When you forget who you are, you forget God. God lives inside each one of us, not physically, but metaphorically. God is the ultimate source of all kindness, goodness, niceness, happiness, peace, love, compassion, and all the positivity you can think of. And we have been created really as images of God, as reflections of God. So we have a beautiful reservoir of all these positivities that we hold within us. That's what Raj Yoga does. Helps us understand ourselves, helps us realize who we are, and then helps us connect to the highest source of all energy, our Father.
So this is a beautiful message on the occasion of Father's Day, that who is our true Father. We know about our physical father, but our true Father is the Father of the soul, the Supreme Father. And the moment we remember, we say that yoga word is a little tough, but the easy word that we can use to make that connection with the divine is remembrance. So yoga means remembrance.
Yeah,
Just
that's
remember.
what Father King, Father Lion also said. Remember who you are. You've forgotten yourself, and hence you've forgotten me. Remember who you are, and therefore you'll remember me.
Yeah,
So
and if we remember God, if we remember that connection, then we also remember the attainments that we get from Him. We say that God is the source of peace, love, happiness. He's in fact an ocean. He's an ocean of peace, ocean of love, ocean of happiness. We just have to remember Him. And the energy, the pure energy of peace, love, happiness starts to flow. We don't have to make any other effort, just a conscious attempt to remember who we are and whom do we belong to. That's the secret formula to experience peace, love, and happiness in life.
And what happens when you have peace, love, and happiness in your life? You become healthy.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to become healthy, right? That's the goal that we started off with. Who doesn't want to live long? Don't have to visit doctors, get injections, and all the procedures. Wouldn't that be nice? No insurance bills. So this is such an easy method to become healthy. The true yoga connects you to the essence of who you are and to your Father, the Supreme Father. Before we go into a little bit of meditation to conclude this session, we would like to invite all of you for your comments and questions. I saw one comment in the beginning, I guess. Kathleen had said, just consciously stop, always a welcome moment. Wonderful. So we would love to hear from you. You can raise your hand physically, or you could raise your hand electronically if you have a question or a comment. Yeah, Somji, yeah, okay, yeah, all right. We are happy to unmute you. Yeah, go ahead.
We missed you last week. You know, you're not here last week. Remember?
Yeah, that's so sweet of you to say that.
And my husband really missed you. He said, where are they? Where are they?
How sweet. Yeah, we missed you all too. It's just that last weekend we had many sessions, and we had advanced sessions with the chief of our Brahmakumaris in the US. And we couldn't do this, but we will continue to do it. It's always a pleasure to have you both as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, Vicky would like to say something. I can unmute you. Okay. Yeah. Anyone else?
At this time, there is no questions on the chat box and on the Facebook, brother. So I have unmuted all. You can unmute yourself, and if you have any questions, please raise your questions.
Or even any comments. What did you take from this? What do you feel inspired? Let me make it easy for you. Let me ask you a question so that you are inspired to reflect on that and then maybe comment. What did you get inspired by after listening to this session? Lashonda has given a thumbs up. Would you like to say something? Raise hand, okay? Unmute. All right, go ahead.
For me, it took me back to the first day when I came to North Augusta and learned the awareness of I am a soul. From that day on, for almost 2 years now, practicing, I feel like I have freed something within myself. I feel so free. And that's the only word I can think of that I feel. It feels so good to me to have this awareness, the peace that I experience, the attachments, everything that I have experienced been amazing. So I just wanted to share that.
Awesome. Thank you, Lashonda. Anyone else?
I think for me, I love the clip you played from The Lion King, because that's what really started my awakening, is that realizing I'm not who I thought I was. And getting a real understanding of who I really am has made a huge difference and continues to. So to me, that was a very essential piece.
Wonderful. Yes. Thank you. We constantly vacillate. Even now, after 20 years, I find myself sometimes getting pulled into uh, what others think me to be, or what I would like to project myself as. Yeah. But then I realize, it's like when you go to, say, in those days, there used to be those kind of parties where people would be holding their masks in front of their faces. Yeah, so that nobody can recognize no one. So you think of holding a mask over your face all the time. Even now, as people wear these face masks, it's very suffocating, isn't it? And then when you get into your car, say you've gone to the grocery shopping, to Walmart or whatever, then you come back to the car and you take your mask off. It feels so good to be able to take a good deep breath. And similarly, this mask that we hold in front of us, it suffocates us of somebody who we really are not. That's what we keep trying to project ourselves as. It's very unhealthy. And so this practice of going back to who I really am, the pure, loving, kind, wise, respectful, peaceful, happy soul, and let every action come from that awareness. That's what is truly healing for the soul and the body. Okay. So shall we do a quick meditation experience to end the session? And Karishna, meanwhile, do you think you will have a blessing for everyone that you could pick up and share with everyone?
I'll bring the blessing. Right now I don't have, but I can bring it.
Okay. So let's together go through that exercise. We have done it many times, but it's always refreshing to do it again. Yeah. We have practiced what we call in Brahmakumaris body consciousness for too long. And now is the time to practice soul consciousness, which means that I am a soul and staying in that awareness as we do our actions. So forget everything for a little bit that you have heard of in the world out there, as well as all that you have seen or known, the entire information overload that you have gone through that is suffocating you. For a little bit, just let go of that. And remind yourself that you are not what others see you as. And you are absolutely not what you have tried to project yourself as. Let go of these false images of the self. They're counterproductive. They suffocate the self. They limit the self. They incapacitate the self. And as you let go of these false identities of who you are, it's like you're getting liberated. Free. as if you were underwater, being pulled down by a weight that was tied to your ankles. And you have just been able to release yourself from that weight. And you're rising up towards the surface. And as you break through the surface, you take a gasp of wind, a gasp of air. And you feel so good. As you see yourself as a soul, the life force, pure energy, you feel immediately as if you've taken a fresh breath. Of pure positivity. And as you begin to connect to your true self, you find yourself connected to God, your Father, the true Father. And you see yourself beginning to vibrate in the same frequency as God Himself. You begin to realize that you were created as a true image of God, with all the qualities of God. Like father, like child. And this positivity that you are able to create through the connection to the self and to your Father, you experience a deep sense of healing. You feel your entire body beginning to heal. Your eyesight improving. Your ability to hear improving. Your ability to digest improving. Your muscles getting stronger. Your bones getting stronger. Your lungs, your heart, your kidneys functioning better. Your relationships improving. Your efficiency improving. Your creativity improving as well. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. So that was a
Om
beautiful
Shanti.
meditation. Everybody must have experienced the connection with the self and the connection with the Divine Father. And this is the best way to celebrate the Father's Day. So Raj Yoga Day as well as Father's Day.
Raj Yoga Day. Yeah. And then I think Swati was wanting to say something. Swati, you want to go ahead and say?
No, she put the comments. She
No,
just
she
put a
cannot
comment.
say if she wants. She can. You can unmute. You can unmute her if she wants to say.
Shanti, are you able to hear me properly?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying, like Raj Yoga meditation, the name itself has so profound meaning, and it is interesting to know this is a combination of all these yoga, like you mentioned, Hatha Yoga, Gyan Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga. So this is something new which I heard today. So thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Okay. Kanishta, you have the blessing for all of us.
Yeah, it's a beautiful blessing for everyone because not only you all meditated for yourself, but because you contributed a positive energy, you created positive energy by being who you are. So this is a special blessing that says, by serving with a true heart, you attract an ocean of blessings, a golden future, and most precious of all, the love of God Father. I'll repeat. By serving with a true heart, you attract an ocean of blessings, a golden future, and most precious of all, the love of God Father. Om Shanti.
I think Vicky has written, thank you both so much. What a lovely lesson. Yeah, all right, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. And it's always a pleasure to be with all of you. We're glad that you took benefit of this session. And we look forward to seeing you next weekend again with yet another session. All right. Om Shanti. Yes. Yeah. Take care. I see Kathleen as well. Kathleen's friend wanted to join. Kathleen, your friend wanted to join, but she didn't know how Zoom works. And so she couldn't. So, yeah, maybe eventually we'll help her. All right. We can't hear you, Kathleen. Somehow we can't, but yeah, you are unmuted, but somehow something's wrong. Yeah, that's fine. It's okay. Om Shanti.